All right, so Greg writes in asking, is there any reason to keep an old 401k? He's left his crappy old job. I don't actually think Greg would. I know Greg. I'm not sure he'd say describe his job as crappy old job, but as corporations change, companies get bought out by foreign units and whatnot, and what was a good family-owned concern is now an international conglomerate, and that could be problematic for sure. So is there any reason once you leave to keep your plan there? The old rule of thumb would be that 401ks are so much doggone cheaper than IRAs that you just get the advantage of low expenses from institutional shares on the 401k investments. But those days are gone now that we have Vanguard ETFs. Use State Street. I don't like State Street, but even SSGA, right? State Street ETFs. I mean, BlackRock ETFs. You got ETFs across as far as the eye can see with cheap fees. We got mutual funds with cheap fees. So the days of leaving a 401k in a plan in order to maintain low-cost investments, those days are gone. The second one is that a 401k, the negative on that is that it is going to be harder for your spouse to have access to it than it would be an IRA. Generally speaking, situation dictates. Each employer is different. But remember, the 401k is governed by ERISA. Your company can follow the Employee Retirement Income Securities Act, ERISA, or be even more diligent if you want to make that, if that makes sense. Like they could be more, more treacherous for your spouse to have access to your assets if in case you're incapacitated. And that's a big negative. There's no two ways around that. I mean, frankly, durable power of attorney, some plans simply just won't allow that. It really is depending on the plan. Never mind at death, a lot of plans say, hey, look, this is every plan is different on when you have access to your cash at death or incapacity. For you, obviously you're dead, but your heirs, surviving heirs, or your spouse if you're incapacitated. So a 401k is much, much harder, generally speaking, than most firms' IRA for having assets in the plan. I don't even know what else would probably, it's low fees. I guess if you're ever going to go to another firm and you're under the age of 59 and a half, the 401k is preferable because you can roll your old 401k into your new employer's 401k, and once you break the age of 55, you have access to the plan separated from service after the age of 55 or beyond. So I'm 53 years old. I'm in my crappy old job. I leave my 401k at that crappy old job. Now I'm going to jump on a job at 55. And I worked there for a year, and this is a crappy old job, but because I rolled my old 401k into this one and consolidated the two, I have my 401k is in my new crappy old job, but I can't stand it, so I'm going to leave. But how do I make any money? Well, because you're over the age of 54, 55 and above, and you separate from service, your 401k plan is accessible, not tax-free, but penalty-free, that's a big deal. So it depends on how old you are. If you're under the age of 59 and a half, there is some serious validity to that, to keeping your 401k for sure in the employer plan, the employer-sponsored 401k plan. If you're over 59 and a half, who cares? If you're over 59 and a half, it's a no-brainer. Just roll it to an IRA. All you got to remember about a 401k is each 401k has its own RMDs, required minimum distribution. So you can't have an aggregation of RMDs, required minimum distributions, and pull money from this one and not that one. It can't work like that. They each have to have their own RMD tables once you hit 70 and a half. So that's kind of a pain. I never came across too many people with 401ks all over the place. I'm not sure how it works if you're, let's say, a firefighter or a cop or something like that, but remember, if you're a first responder and you have access post 50, or I guess post 49, to have access to your funds without penalty under the tax code laws that was relatively recently. I think that was a TCGA, if memory serves, the Trump tax bill, where if you're a first responder, and that list is it's more than just, I remember it's like Border Patrol, custom agents, I think it might even be the guys at the airline guy, what is the airline guys, traffic control, I think, don't quote me on that, but anyway, if you're a first responder and you separate from service after the age of 49 and a half, you have access to your TSP, whatever plan is offered through your employer without question. I mean, that is a fact. I've read you the exceptions to the 10% penalty before a couple times. That is absolutely an exception to the 10% penalty. Being post 49 years old and having a TSP through a savings plan, having your county retirement plan through the county or whatever the state is or anything like that, absolutely those are available to you post 49 without paying the 10% penalty. That's just a fact. A lot of people are not aware of that. So another reason not to roll over your 401k, your employer-sponsored plan, simply because if you are going to do that and roll it to an IRA, you lose that benefit of having access to your money before the age of 59 and a half. And trust me, having pulled money out for the last 2 years to help get my business on, I paid thousands of dollars of premature penalties. I mean, I knew I was going in. It sucks, no other way around that. But I knew I was going in. I was going to have to do that, and I just bit the bullet and did. It's not the worst thing ever happened, but it is money that I don't have to spend. That's for sure, because I was before 59 and a half, and I had to pay the premature penalty, and that stinks, man. That's tough. So I guess, Greg, that's it, man. I think the 401k, the fees are low, but you can get ETFs are just as low now. The 401k, the only reason to keep it there is, I guess, if you're under the age of 59 and a half, there might be an opportunity for you to take access to it after you separate from service, after either 50 if you're a first responder, or 50 at 50, or 55 if you're just regular Joe like me. So that'd be the only real reason I can think of. There's a lot of negatives on 401k plans, though. It's simply, like I said, the spouse having access to it, the distribution schematics there, especially on a TSP, it just sucks, man. Your surviving spouse is not going to be happy with you if you leave a TSP to her, and certainly the beneficiaries of that surviving spouse won't be happy either, because that is very, it's predetermined what the beneficiary distributions are, and it ain't good, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to, if you guys have any thoughts that I'm missing here, I can't think of anything else why I'd want to leave it in a 401k. If I'm over the age of 59 and a half, there's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, to roll it to an IRA. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do that. But if, again, before 59 and a half, you might want to think twice about it. All right. Hope this helps, Greg. And any other questions y'all have, let me know. And obviously, put them in the show notes, too, if I'm missing something, because this... there might be some other reasons I'm just drawing a blank on, but share the knowledge, man. Lots of people get on these and they hear me spouting, but that I easily could miss something. So if I do, just let me know. We'll see ya.